Welcome to Private Space Therapy, the business of our very own milk tray man, Ben Adams, who's a certified therapist and counsellor registered with the BACP. Ben's offering appointments face-to-face in Colchester on the beautiful university grounds, or by video, telephone, or even home visit. So if you do feel like you need someone professional to listen, to understand, and to discuss what's going on with you, give Private Space Therapy a call. Private Space Therapy. Non-judgmental, unconditional support with you at the centre always.
I wanna be with you. I wanna be with you.
Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and it's Friday. That's right, the Friday press conference reaction show is here. They're coming around quicker and quicker, but the weekend is upon us. The beers are flying, or flowing rather, in the VIP area. The Crunher has received his fresh batch from awaydaybeers.com, and he's certainly enjoying the new tipple, but hopefully we can be celebrating over the course of the weekend with 3 points. As I said, it's Friday. I've been enjoying playing with Play-Doh today and in my fish and chips this evening. Big shout out to Stow Upland Fish and Chip Shop. Unpaid advertisement, just top quality bit of haddock this evening. I really did enjoy it. It's hard work on these mother and toddler groups, you know, man. It's just playing with Play-Doh all day long. It's just hard work, my man. Need to fill in that tax form as well. But we're here to bring you what Paul Cook said in his press conference this morning. I've scoured the internet, got the best clips. I'm going to ask my two contributors what they think Cookie's been saying, what he really means with it all, or what their flavour and spin is it. Now, we had a great night last night, a really good night on the Thursday night preview show with myself, Peaky, Mark Tuxford. Jump back to see the intro. Just that alone is worth the admission fee. A new boy on the block, Lewis Robertson. But we had a great night because we raised some fantastic money for Chris, who's doing the London Marathon this weekend. If you didn't watch last night's show and you'd like to contribute, the link was in the chat for the London Marathon for Chris's cause. So, you know, do dig in deep. We're trying to get him over his 5,000 target. I think he's got there, but let's get him further and further. Get a few comments. Got Lee Brown. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Good evening, rather, Lee. And Mini Crunches in the room. Adrian's here. We've got Anthony Steele. Good evening, all. Alarm set for 5 a.m. All systems go for Accrington. Ben Moore. I will start getting some points on the fantasy league. We need Rob Davies' bullshit bell. Ding, 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 ding. Incorrect answer. Our survey said. Sarah Davis. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Sarah. I hope the husband's feeling much better. Had a good evening last night with his birthday. Bald and blue. Who isn't bald, by the way? Well, he isn't blue, but he isn't bald. I met him last week. Good evening, Gov. Good evening, everyone. Still buzzing from Tuesday night. We need to start the same 11 tomorrow and building that perfect performance. I believe we have turned a corner. Well, somebody else who's still buzzing, let's get him in. He's the first thing he said to me when he came into the show this evening was, I'm still buzzing from Tuesday night. Are you? In the Avalanche, the same way Cookie brought the goals. Matt, you're buzzing still right here.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, just as you know, I was on the train, wasn't I? because of the petrol crisis and that. So I got on the train, and it was great from about Manningtree through Colchester to, I don't know, Kelvedon. There was all people on the platform singing town songs. They got the beers on the go. I was like hitting the window. They was all responding. It was great. It was like we've been promoted. That's what it reminded me of.
Phillips hitting the window. Yeah. That's brilliant.
Yeah, it was great. You look, these moments have been few and far between. Let's put it this way. So it was great.
You're such an ultra. Look at him, look, on the old Greater Anglia Express to Chelmsford, banging the windows, having his beer. It was a great night.
Town fans deserved that win, didn't they? We deserved our big takeover after the Evans era, and then we deserved that win after what we've put up with over the last few weeks. So it's brilliant.
Absolutely. Emerson, Tuesday was amazing just to see the look on my girls' faces as they finally got to witness Town put someone to the sword. It's been a while, isn't it, since we put someone to the sword to that extent, really.
Yeah. Shout out Lee Brown, top man. He helped me with my umbrella duties on Tuesday. That was your umbrella, man. I was trying to think to myself, like, when was the last time we did 6 at home? Do you know what I mean? You start thinking way back, don't you? Or when was the last time someone had scored a hat trick? It was Grant Ward, didn't it? But I was thinking it was even earlier than that. You know what I mean?
Because you rather forget Grant Ward, don't you? Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
That was his career. His career was over after that.
His career was over after that. I mean, I'm not quite sure it finished after that, literally.
One of the guys who sits behind me, David, goes, he'll never top that as a joke. And he was correct.
And he never did. He never truly did. Talking of things we'll never top, obviously, last night we raised some big cash for brilliant. Chris. Your good lady wife is also doing the London Marathon, so big shout out to her. Good luck for Sunday.
For, sarcoma charity, which is cancer charity, which her cousin died of when she was just 28. So there's a big group of them doing it. They've done about 10 grand because there's like about 10 of them. But I said to her how much Chris had raised, and she's like, "That's unbelievable." So it's great, isn't it? Community coming together again.
Absolutely. And then I bet she dug you in the ribs and said, "Why don't you tell him I was doing it as well?"
That has been mentioned.
Yeah, good on her as well. She, bald and blue. How do you know I'm not bald, guy? He might have been manscaped. Oh no, bald and blue. Love it. I didn't think of that. You're absolutely right. And why would you not be? Manscaped.com. Your besties, their testes.
Do you know what today was, mine?
Shave your nuts day? What?
Oh, it was out. FIFA 22. I will take the Town to the Premier League. If you need a job doing properly, I'll do it. Do it yourself.
Look at this, man. While I'm dealing with issues, as we'll say, you're off playing FIFA 2022.
Yeah. No one try and hit me up to play me online. I'm not very good at that.
Talking of playing online, we have a prediction league. These are the 4 predictions this week. Week 8 it is. We've got Accrington Stanley versus Ipswich, Crewe versus Cambridge, Colchester versus Salford, and Burnley versus Pointless Norwich. Norwich, would you believe, Matt, while being pointless, have yielded the most amount of points for our players because everyone's correctly predicted they'll get stuffed every week. And they've dutifully obliged by being stuffed.
Do you know what? Derby have had their -12 where it is. They've still got more points than Norwich.
They have. That is true. Talking of fantastic wins, before we bring in the man, the myth, the legend, we obviously had some great news to share on our socials today. Just to quickly run through you. September in numbers, Matthew. A 30% increase in weekly audio downloads.
Yeah.
Ranked 56th football podcast in Britain, according to Chartable. 56 in Britain.
That's pretty good.
Not bad. I mean, Gary Neville's got about 4 out himself. When you consider that, then you've got 35,000 views across YouTube and Facebook, which of course is up from last September's 12,000. So
3 times as much, basically.
Look at that! Look, we are smashing it, and some say it's got all to do, all thanks rather to this show. Here he is.
What lovely way of introducing me.
Well, it's your famous moment, isn't it? Let's be honest. That and the bed sheet. Sorry. Facebook,
That bloody bed sheet.
bloody bed sheet. Facebook
Yes.
user purchased FM22 today for release in November. He'll get us the Premier League on FM22. You do it on FIFA.
Ben Moore, who's on minus points, he's trying to get. He's saying PS4. Shocking. Look, I'm not moneybags here, you know. I can't all afford a PS5, you know.
I've got an Xbox One, but for those that are interested, FM22 is our next is sort of our halfway prize, if you like. So keep your eyes peeled.
That's your game, isn't it, mine? You're an expert.
The prediction league. I am an expert at football manager. Yes, I was most hurt when last season in the lockdown one, the football club decided to go with somebody else as their manager.
Yes,
it was an open process, I thought, but little did I know. Stephen Parry. It wouldn't have had. Sorry, Steve. I'll go on because I can't read that. Rich is a goat. Stephen says Rich is a goat from the goat. Stephen Parry set off 11 a.m. with the wife for Aki.
Colin's been busy today, Matt, in the iconic shed.
Billy
McNeil has been removed.
Oh,
because he's running out of room.
I was going to say, what's Billy done?
Dicky
Mossy.
Colin actually did say he wants a picture of the fisherman in the iconic shed.
No, he'd flip-flop out of it. Stephen Parry, I remember the first one when it was a championship manager. Mike D, evening, gents. I hope you're all well ready for 3 more points. We certainly are. But we are Doncaster.
Last 6-0 at home, Matt, was Bristol City.
What, the John Walters game?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I remember that.
When he was there the other night.
I kept that on my Sky Plus for ages. And then, the missus deleted it.
Don't lie. It's a DVD player. Don't lie. Have you, as a point, I mean, Richard, this will be quite a few times for yourself, but have either of you ever recorded over the wedding video?
No, that's
with a town game.
No. Have you done that then?
I haven't done it, but Richard,
I've got DVD. That's impossible.
You get it on a disc now, didn't you?
He's had 2 or 3 to choose from, so he could have taken his pick, but.
No, it's all on DVD. All on DVD, Martin.
No, okay, fair enough. Go on,
Anyway,
plug it.
New beers. Walk to victory.
Nice.
Cash-tastic golden beer.
Give us a quick review.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Josh.
What does it taste like? Hang on.
Beer.
Just to say, Josh didn't send me any free beers. Don't know about you,
So
Martin.
I've got Robo Crouch and I've got Porterman Road as well.
Well, I'm on this one, everybody. I'm still. Oh, blimey! I think it is. Look.
Look at that.
There you go.
Yeah, I've got one of them in the fridge.
I'm on that wonderful H2O. Beautiful stuff. Can't drink at the moment, so I'm able to partake in a usual Friday night away day beers. Lee Brown has done that, and now he's divorced. There you go. David said VHS. Nice one, the SPT. I haven't got any freebies yet, Rich, or any beers actually.
They're on the way.
Beers. Well, I know, but I can't drink at the moment anyway. But it goes on the straight vodka. Absolutely. It was a point a minute ago. Now I've downed it. Anyway, back to Doncaster, because we can't really proceed without going back to that interview that's done the rounds. I've got the interview. Then we've got some of the thoughts from the interviewer.
Yeah.
And then I want to grab both of your thoughts in regards to it. I'm sure the guys and girls are at home. Mark Tuxford, Govern Straight Vodka. James, £5. Good work. Great content.
Come on, let's get some more money rolling in. Come on.
Love you, James. Ben Moore. No beer for me until we beat Cambridge. Also ain't feeling great. Do you know, I was doing sort of a last 5 games recently for some social media content. And Cambridge, we haven't really played all that often. And if you we've only ever played 5 times in total against Cambridge, according to this website.
Right.
So
you there last time, Matt, when we played at the Abbey Stadium in the league?
92?
93.
That was my very first away game.
Was it?
Was it really?
Yeah. I remember you said 1-1, wasn't it? Was it 1-1?
Yeah, Milton scored for Town and Mick Heathcote.
No, I've been to the Abbey. But I've not seen Town there. Funny little ground. Pokey.
Spiced rum for Irving tonight. Love it, Irv.
Irving gets in there.
That's where the Kings live. Right. Interview. Where is it? Here we go. This is the interview. Can you see it?
Yes.
It won't matter if you can see it because I didn't share the audio. So bear with me just a moment. Because you can see it, but you won't be able to hear it. Here we go. Right. Perfect. You see it?
We can see it.
6-0 tonight. You must be absolutely
You hear it?
delighted with that.
Yeah.
Just about.
Yeah. Take us through the goals and
No, not particularly. We just got 3 points tonight. We won a game at home, so that's it.
for the fans, 18,000 here.
Yeah, it's a good night.
Yeah. So it's a very spirited win though for your team. You look confident all the way through.
Probably the opposite of what we looked at each ball, wasn't it?
Yeah. And Sam Morsey had his debut. Very impactful, ran the midfield.
I thought George Edmondson and Cameron Burgess played well as well.
Yeah. What about Morsey as a captain's performance?
It's just part of the team tonight, that's what.
Yeah.
Right.
Seem a bit downbeat in
No,
all
fine.
honesty.
Just no questions. The last time we got put in horrendous. Now all of a sudden you want to ask me next question, so I've answered all your questions. We're all right to move on.
Yeah, but I mean, last time it was a heavy defeat, and tonight it's a massive
It
win.
was our 5th game of the season. You were telling me how many games I'd won in 22. We're going back into last season. It's quite ironic how your questions are totally different, but that's football today, isn't it?
Well, that is
your
football.
time.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
So that was Cookie. Rich, you've since spoken to, remind me of the person who was interviewing. Sorry, I've forgotten his name.
Jonathan Beale. So he's a well-known journalist. He's good friends with Kate. I remember him from Talk Sport years back, Sky. And obviously that video or that one you played there was from Quest, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yeah. And we've got some thoughts from here. I think it's important that we sort of read these out so the guys and girls at home can obviously hear them as well as they can, perhaps they can't see them.
Is an essay?
Well, it says, to give your audience full context, be it correct and appropriate that these answers are read out in full, as this gives full clarity to any misunderstandings which can occur, particularly on social media when comments, quotes, and clips are taken in isolation and misconstrued. This has happened in regards to my Bolton review of the last few weeks. Kate's question. What was Kate's question, Rich? Can you remind me?
2 ticks.
The answer to Kate's question regards what it is you never know what to expect when doing post-match interviews. I'm always totally open-minded when doing any interview, particularly in football.
Kate's question was just what's going on his mind, in Jonathan's mind when he gets one-word answers like that.
Yeah, because like Tuck says, off the cuff, you've got to go off the cuff, which can sometimes get emotive depending on who you're talking to and the nature of what might be discussed. But just prior to the camera rolling, Cook said something to me indicating he wasn't happy with the interview I did after Bolton. He mentioned that I'd asked him about his overall Ipswich record and thought I was being negative and wondered if I was going to be negative with him again. Words to that effect. I can't quote him word for word, but that was the tone and give me an instant automatic signal that the interview might be awkward. So after he replied to the first couple of questions with short answers, I knew Paul would probably maintain the tone and style throughout the entire interview. So I kept on asking the questions and just asked him why he seemed to be a bit downbeat. But what's important is that it's Paul Cook or anyone else. What's important is that it's Paul Cook or anyone else's right to answer the questions in whichever way they choose. It's about choice and freedom of expression. An interview style or answers given might be questioned by other people, but essentially Paul Cook was entitled to answer any questions any way he wanted. He also had the right to refuse the interview. Doncaster manager Mr. Wellings refused to give me an interview post-match, which is what can happen in football if a team suffers a heavy defeat. Cook didn't have to say anything to me post-match. He could have refused, but that's the way things are. I could go into some of the questions that you asked him there, Rich, but I think the important thing to really take away from what I've quickly read through these is that obviously post-Bolton, there wasn't that clarification to the media about Paul Cook's dad, was there? Because that's been misconstrued a little bit there, Matt.
Yeah, he didn't. No one knew. And I spoke to Colin about this before, and I think I messaged you, Martin. I think it was on the Thursday, wasn't it, before the Bolton game? And someone had told me, so didn't say anything. I just think a little bit strange that the club didn't put something out. Maybe Cook didn't want anything to be put out that week. I don't know. And also after the game, he's obviously had a real tough time. Why did he do the press? Why couldn't Jeffers have done it? Why couldn't Gary Roberts done it? But then if you flip that round, we've just lost 5-2 at home and we know what people will say. Why is the manager not doing the press?
Yeah, and it's Mr. Bill said, I think Mr. Bill, and it says here, in the official club video interview of the Doncaster, Paul Cook referenced the guy over there who slaughtered me last week. To clarify the important point on the day of the Bolton game, no one in the media was aware that Cook had tragically lost his father. And in TV, you were asking questions on behalf of your audience. So the interview was about Ipswich versus Bolton, the game itself, and the bigger picture. Just to pull out a couple of quotes there from the piece that Jonathan's given. It's on the screen, so if you want to pause it at any point, you can obviously read through what he has said. If you want to request it, I'm sure we can.
It was really good of him to come back with me with that, because I did.
But what do you both feel, having seen it and obviously heard his view and seen his?
Well, Matt, because you've got a take on this.
It's not really well. If you're a comms person, right? So if you're the Ipswich Town press office, that's a bit of a disaster, because you don't want to be putting up people for interview where they're giving off a bit of a negative vibe, which is what Jonathan Phillips said to him. He seemed a bit downbeat. He was just doing the interview because he, as Quest is a rights holder, he probably felt he just had to do it. So it wasn't really a good look for the club, particularly, especially after a 6-0 as well. But that does happen a lot. To be honest with you, that does happen a lot. I'm surprised Quest used it, in all honesty. The fact they used it speaks volumes. Did they just want to expose Paul Cook to not doing a very good interview and all that? I don't know. Why. It doesn't make for good viewing, particularly. So I don't know why they used it, actually. But it happens loads. You might have seen the Roy Hodgson outtake where he's talking to Matchday and he goes, "Well, I think you're taking a fucking piss." It does happen a lot. And generally, broadcasters won't use it because it's not very good TV. It doesn't reflect their journalists don't look particularly good or their reporters don't look particularly good on camera. So they won't use it. So I found it weird that Quest decided to use that. Notice Wellings didn't go in front of the media. So, Paul could have chosen not to, but he did do it. And like you say, he was not. If he'd not done the media after a 5-2, that would have reflected badly on him. He's not that kind of character. Paul Lambert was that kind of character.
Yeah, but from what I can tell, the question that sort of prompted this, we'll call it a feud. This feud is the record, which it's dated back to last season. Yeah. That's the question. From what I can gather, was the one that lit the match paper. Was he right or wrong to ask that after a 5-2 defeat, though? That's what I'm kind of flummoxed. So I think it's a perfectly valid question because that's your record, Mr. Cook. Own it.
Yeah. I don't disagree. The problem is, of course, it's become between eras, isn't it? So you've got the new era, got the game changer era. They've allowed him to get his own players in. So he probably feels like this is a clean slate for him with the new squad. That was Lambert's squad that he'd inherited. He didn't think they were very good. The energy wasn't there. The enthusiasm wasn't there. So, I mean, that's probably the reason why. But it is valid because that is his Town career. It does go across 2 seasons. It
does. Rich, question for yourself as we move it on. Kevin Beattie statue news today. You can be one of 20 names inscribed on the plinth for the fee of, I think it's 500 quid.
500 quid.
What are your thoughts on that? Rich? Is that a good thing? Is that the right thing to do?
Where's that money going to? Where's that 500 quid going to? Is that towards like the cost of everything?
Towards the cost of the statue, I'd have thought, yeah.
They've got it all, haven't they? That's all fenced off, that area now, as you come down.
Yeah, it is.
Come down and sort of opposite where we do the shows from.
Why do you go to
I don't know.
I thought everyone raised the money for that. Did they not?
Andrew Harrison, £10. Good man, Andrew. We love it. We appreciate it. I'm kind of asking, is it an appropriate thing, I suppose? 20. You had
I don't think so. I don't think so. But why does people's names need to be on it?
It's what we'd call lumpy.
Really? It's a hard one, isn't it? Because Kevin Beattie.
He'd call lumpy. He calls a £5 note lumpy, this man over here.
Look,
the only name not on the Ko-Fi list.
He was voted our greatest ever player, wasn't he?
Yeah.
You know. But it's real hard when you come to statues, because obviously you got Sir Alf, you got Sir Bobby. Where do you draw that line?
Yeah, it's a very good point.
Because Kevin Beattie, I never see him play. Obviously, I've seen it on videos and whatever. Neither of you two, I don't think. But
I saw him play. I went to the Kevin Beattie testimonial. We played something like Spartak Moscow or something. Lev Yashin came out at half time. Remember him, the goalkeeper? It was random. It was a random one. Yeah. 2-2 it was in the rain.
It's hard because you could say John Walk, he's one of our greatest players, you know?
Mick Mills. Walk is my favourite.
Walk was appearance holder. So names on it, I don't think there should be people having their names on it. But if they want to go down that route, that's up to them, isn't it? But I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be December time. They haven't actually given a date yet. I would have thought it would probably be.
God wants a Iniesta statue.
Isn't December the 18th the Beats' birthday? Was that the day?
Yeah, Colin did say this morning. I would have thought it wouldn't be on unveil when there's a game because it'd be too busy, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yes, possibly so.
It's like the Sir Alf one was unveiled, wasn't he?
Right.
That was on the Man United game, but sort of at lunchtime, wasn't it?
Ray Crawford done that one, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You'll see directions to a Johnny Esther statue. You know, if you go to Portman Road, you will. Seriously. Toilet this way.
You don't think the beach should have had a statue then? Is that what you're saying?
I just think it's a real hard one, you know, because he was a great player, but Mick Mills was a great player, man. John Walk was a great player. You know, so it is a hard one. Look,
all right.
I've seen the statue. You can still buy I think they did. Was it 40 little miniature ones? I think they're about 1,200 quid. There's still some of them left if you want to buy one.
Mark Tuxton, surprised the club didn't put a statue up for Luke Chambers, John Ipswich, unless we've got a statue that we can add players over the next few years, like the England one at West Ham. You know, I mean, I suppose the dream is, and we'll get to this a bit later on because one of the questions is about Premier League.
Colin's right there. 500 quid is very steep for the average supporter, and it is.
Well, they're trying to hook you on the 20 exclusivity bit, aren't they? You know what I mean? So. But Matt Lumpy Phillips over here, he'll dig in deep. You know, he's got big pockets but short arms. Right.
The guys, they're right. I mean, outside Old Trafford, I think there's like the Holy Trinity of Man United, isn't it? George Best, Dennis Law. I mean, maybe you do a three of like Walkie, Mills, and Mariner.
When we move to a new stadium and we have a museum put in.
Good dream, isn't it?
And all this sort of stuff. Because a football club, if ever a football club, once the good times comes back, needs a museum, it is this football club. We have given English football so much. You'll be able to have as many statues of whoever you want. But
by the way, talking of legends, Paul Mariner's book comes out this month. Rock and Roll Football, I think it's called. End of the month. That's going to be a good read.
There you go. That will be a good read. Yes, Mark Tuxford. Have you got any further, Mark Tuxford, with my request on last night's show in regards to who is on that flag? I would like to know. Ben Moore.
Is it Edward Ebenezer?
No, that's the banner. I'm talking about there's a flag above the drummer. Someone keeps waving. We've got, as I said last night's show, a little bit of a bet me and me Gran as to who it is.
Tuck sits in that section.
Exactly.
Make a few calls and out.
Tuck doesn't go to the games. He's been at one. It's like we're already in October.
He's got a great record.
Right. Edmondson spoke to the press. We've got a bit of Edmondson. We've got a bit of Cookie. A clear signal. He says, we've picked up a bit of momentum in our last 3 games to take 7 points from 9. Even the lads who haven't been getting in the matchday squads are working hard because they want to get in and play. The whole squad is really good. I think we've set out a signal to the rest of the league that we're getting our act together now. Our game against Wednesday on Saturday was like that. It sort of said, we've arrived. And we carried on from there against Doncaster. Obviously, we didn't have the best of starts, but the last 3 have really put a stamp on us in the league. Matthew Phillips, 7 points from 9. Unbeaten in 3. Is it a signal to the rest of the league that Ipswich Town aren't really a 4th from bottom side and a corner has been turned? And be wary.
Yeah. I mean, we've got to be careful with talk. Talk is easy, isn't it? You've got to actually deliver on the pitch. But I tweeted that myself, really. It was a statement win. Okay, it was against Doncaster, so they're bottom, right? But Doncaster did go there with aspirations. I mean, the guy we did... what was the guy's name who came on from Doncaster? Rich did the little video for us. Dappers?
18, yeah, I can't remember what his name was.
Yeah, he was confident they could get something out of the game. He thought, I feel like we could probably get a draw. We went to Plymouth when he lost last minute with a penalty. They were confident, and we absolutely blew them away, didn't we? I mean, it speaks volumes, I guess, that Richie Wellens has said that him and the squad are going to play for that 165.
What do you think to that, Matt? What do you think? I think it's poor.
I
don't agree with it. I don't agree with it because if you go to watch a film and it's shit, you don't get your money back. It sets a very dangerous precedent for me. When you go to a football match, you pay your money. You know you're taking a gamble, don't you? You're travelling all that way. Me and Colin, we're going to Portsmouth, on a midweek. If we go and get smashed 5-0 there, that's just one of them things. I went to Burnley. You remember that night when Bullard played, when Paul Gill was in charge? Yeah. We lost 4-0 and we were absolutely... I got back at 2:30. I went to work at 4:30. Did I get any money back? No. But did I expect it? No.
Disagree.
I think I don't disagree, but I do think it's a good gesture as well. It's a PR gesture, isn't it? We've just got turned over. It looks like we're going to get relegated. We thought they looked like a League 2 team. It's a good little gesture, I think. But I don't disagree with what you're saying either. But I don't think you compare football to films because you can read a review of a film. There's no review of what you're about to see on the football, is there?
I disagree with both of you. I think.
What's the third option then?
Well, it's a little bit of both here. You can have a little bit of a Venn diagram situation when you can be right in the middle, because here it is. He's giving money back, or they're giving money back, for the lack of desire and effort. If you went to a film and the actor and actresses just sort of, yes, Romeo, yeah, well, you know the story by now. Shakespeare's well known. You kind of think, well, hang on, I want my fucking money back here. Tuesday night, them players turned up for about the warm up because Doncaster were never really in it, and that's what Wellings and Co are saying. Our desire and commitment didn't match yours on a Tuesday night when you all turned up all those way. Aquaplaned home. We're going to just reward you a little bit here.
I did agree with Cookie.
Well,
I felt a bit sorry for him. They've gone to Plymouth on a Saturday, a long old trip, and then they've got to come down to Ipswich. Yeah. So
absolutely. I mean, look at Callie. He arrived by car and left by boat on Tuesday night. It was that bad, and no one his arc was docking when we left Port.
Anyway, more to the point. What happened about your keys? You didn't really go into that. Come on.
I'm all right. I'm fine. I'm fine. It's a story for a Sunday. That is. It's a long one. It's a long one. I've got to try and clean it up a little bit. Kingy, wellness. Fucking wellness. What am I now reporting WWE news? Wellings went to the same PR seminar as Lambert. Robert Ramsey, spot on, goat. We have to win tomorrow. Lee Bayliss, correct. Colin will be a hard game.
Was there Matt the other night? He's on the coaching staff at Doncaster.
Who's that? Sorry, Noel.
Noel Hunt.
Yeah.
He turned. Didn't he turn down Cookie in the summer for number 2?
I don't know if he turned him down. He was rude, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was rude.
Right, here we go. So, Richard, this is your one now. Obviously, I've got my column out in Suffolk News. You've all read it because you're all wonderful people. But I said the spine of the team is strong now. You've got Burgess and Edmondson, Morsey and Evans. You've got Macaulay Bond, Fraser, Selena. So, is the spine of the team, is it as strong as it's been in a long time for you? Nice and easy one, this. Just a plug for my article, really.
When was it last strong? Would you say the season under Mick when we got to the playoffs?
Yes, you had Murphy.
You had Murphy. You had Stewart in the midfield. Barron, Tommy Smith. You had Bart was in goal for most of the season. He had Gherkin for a little bit, didn't he? Yeah. Sort of. But I can't disagree with that. We've got a really strong spine. It's like Cookie said. I don't know if any of you listened to the EFL podcast. It's a really good listen, Matt, with Cooks on there with John Coleman.
You said it was good, yeah. It's good.
Yeah, it's really good. And he said about Burgess and Edmondson, when they played against Bolton, it looked like they'd never played football before. And then 3 games later, and he does say, he keeps saying, doesn't he, about partnerships. It's what he keeps banging the drum at, and repetition. And that's what it is now. And it's good to see today.
Go on. Sorry, go on.
It's good today to see that Morsey, he's not been called up he's not going away with the Egypt squad, so that's a good one. So he'll still be there next Saturday. So
they've got to have a hell of a
midfield. We have a debut as good as that, Matt.
It was a great debut.
Grant Ward.
That's only 45 minutes as well.
All roads lead to Grant Ward. It's what it is. Now, in my notes, I actually have put talking of Burgess, because I knew you'd go on to Burgess. You see, I'm up there with you now. You see, talking of Burgess, Aegis phone call Cook had to make for a £750,000 transfer in the summer. He had this to say on Burgess: "I've known John's team as well as John probably, because we discussed the players, and Cameron is someone who we'd watched. It was something for both clubs that if a deal could be done, let's do it. If a deal wasn't going to be achievable, then let's not bother each other. I've got too much respect, as you just said, for John and Chairman Andy Holt, who's been on this platform." Great friend of the show is Andy Holt. And the deal was done very, very quickly. And that was credit to Mark Ashton and our club, and also the powers that be at Accrington. It was a move that everyone was happy with. And when you get moves like that, they're quite simple. Matt Phillips, is it money well spent? And just how would you describe the partnership of Burgess and Edmondson, to say someone who's never seen us play yet? You get to see us play. How would you describe that partnership at this point?
Do you know what? I don't know it's because I was like delirious with like enjoyment from the 6-0, but I was sitting there on the train going back thinking, could these two be the next Butcher and Osman? Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. At some point, those two have got to be replicated. They've got to. So people used to think Beattie and Hunter, they would never be matched in Butcher and Osman coming. And it's been a long time. You could question a few centre halves that we've had. I used to think Berra was decent and Tommy Smith. But I don't know. Even their builds, Edmondson kind of like the Osman, bit of a broader build. The taller player being Burgess. But yeah, I do agree they look like complete strangers in that Bolton game, and I was like really pissed off by it. But now they've started working together, building that partnership. They're looking good. Now, whether or not it's money well spent, we'll have to wait and see. But at the moment, we'll have to wait and see to the end of the season, I think, to decide that. Was he a player that was pivotal in getting us promoted? Therefore, it's money well spent. Here's a little stat for you. Friend of the show, another friend of the show, Chris Hall from West Bromwich Albion, sent me this earlier for tonight's show. Mad stat from the NTT 20 podcast. Now, you might get upset at this, Mike, because it references XG, but bear with. Are you aware Ipswich actually have the best XG against numbers in League One? According to expected goals, opponents have had less big chances against you than anyone else, and you should have conceded the least goals in the league to date.
Shows you how crap XG is.
Then I said to him, if you boil it down, a lot of our goals have just been errors, haven't they? A crap back pass, Lee Evans stepping on the ball. So that's interesting to me. And that was before, really, those two have come together and, started seeing the fruits of their labour. So hopefully it's the only way he's up for those two. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there are comparisons and then there are comparisons. I will let you come back on that, Rich, because that's the point you've got to come back on. He's compared them to two greats. What do you think of that?
I think we're getting a little bit carried away. It was like Colin on Tuesday. It was and you, Matt, saying it was a championship performance on Tuesday.
It was.
It wasn't. It wasn't. We are a League One team.
How could it not
we
be?
are not a championship team. We're getting way too far ahead of ourselves.
What?
We are.
If we
lose tomorrow, you'll be losing. If we tell you what, if we lose tomorrow, Sunday on the podcast, Matt will say, "I'm grumpy today." You will. You will.
Paul Cook's annoying me.
Let's give it some. I've got a little fly buzzing around here, Martin. It's not like
you did say a few games ago. Paul Cook is annoying you.
He's annoying me.
He was annoying me, but I'm still there. I did say on Tuesday night, where's the cookouters now?
Oh yeah.
The silence was deafening, but it wasn't.
I think we need to see more than a few games of these two together, don't we? Really, they have looked impressive the last couple of games. Let's see when we go to say someone like Sunderland away, when you're going to have 30-odd thousand, we're going to be under pressure. Yeah, let's see how they handle that because Doncaster didn't lay a glove on us, did they, Martin? Come on, let's be fair.
Well, no, because the desire, work rate, and commitment weren't there. Hence why they've got the refund.
The context of that comment, though, was it looked like Championship versus League Two, is what I said.
It looked like Memphis's boys. It looked like Saturday versus Sunday.
4 goals in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
From the 70th to the 80th minute. That's a goal every 2.5 minutes.
That was down to a little in-game management from Cookie.
It was. Hey, look. Yeah. Ben Moore showing why Ben Moore is getting minus points on the fantasy. Burgess and Edmondson, the new Chamber and Smith partnership. Up there with the Beattie and the Osmonds and all those. The top.
Chamber played right back, Ben.
You've got Mowbray and Venus. You got Vilnius and
Venus.
Linigan and Walk, Matt, from the 91-92.
It's a great partnership there. We are due another partnership. We're due another great partnership. I just hope it's those two.
No.
If it is a great partnership, we'll probably be in the championship this time next season.
Smith and Chambers. That's the benchmark. Right. Talking to Lee Evans, you brought him up there. Expertly.
Hang on. That's a bit harsh. Tommy Smith did play 200 odd games in the championship.
I wasn't laughing at the Smith connection. It wasn't the Smith connection I was laughing at. It was the fact that Chambers was mentioned. Who played right back predominantly most of his time at Portman Road. Right. Captaincy added pressure to Evans? ? Absolutely. He's a really nice lad and no different than a lot of the guys who came in the summer. This is Paul Cook speaking. The pressure of playing for big clubs is there for all to see. You come out in front of 22, 23,000, and for some of the lads, it was probably a little bit too much, a little bit too new, and probably a little bit looking to someone else to do the job to make it right. And Lee was given the captaincy. I think it was common knowledge that we were searching for a captain. Lee never got brought in to be captain, but Lee was probably the best candidate around at the time. And Lee's probably felt a little bit, and I don't like using the word pressure because I think it's a strange word, isn't it? But it was a little bit of a heavy weight on his shoulders. Now, all of a sudden, he knows Sammy inside out, and they've obviously played together. So the question for yourself here, Rich, was, was Tuesday night the weight of expectation and pressure being lifted from Evans' shoulders? And was that the Evans you thought we were getting when we signed the player back in the summer?
Well, I think some people are natural leaders, aren't they?
Shout out, Julian. Yes.
Julian.
Good man, Julian.
Yeah.
Loving it. As
Done
yourself, Crunch, you're a natural leader. You lead from the front. You wear your heart on your sleeve.
I was leading last night, wasn't I?
You're our Sam Morsey. You're our Gareth McCauley. But yeah,
I loved that last night when I stuck about 50 quid in and you nearly fell off you were like, what?
I thought it said a £5 at the start. I said,
No.
Crunch with a...
And Callie, no, I didn't have to ring the bank. Don't worry.
Yes, he did.
Look, Evans wasn't a natural leader, was he? And it must be hard when you're coming into a brand new team with, 2 or 3 players who've been there before, like Vincent Young, Wolfenden, but they're young players, aren't they? Yes. And you're coming in straight away, and people are looking to you. They're thinking, right, you've been given the armband, and they're expecting him to perform, and he hasn't performed, has he, Evans? Let's be fair.
No.
I know we did big him up in the pre-season, but it was like that weight was lifted from his shoulders on Tuesday night. It freed him up, and hopefully moving forward now, that probably will be the partnership. But look, they've played 80-odd games together for Wigan. So they know each other's game inside out. So that really, really helps. I know you're on about your spine of your team. And if you go back to that, these guys have played together. They know each other's games. They're not going to have to work at it in training. And Cook's not going to have to tell them because they know, didn't they? But yeah, and it was... If anyone said to us Tuesday night that Lee Evans would get a hat-trick, I think we'd all think you're losing your mind. But they were good goals, weren't they? Yeah. I'll tell you, Matt, who the third goal, the hat-trick goal, what did that remind you of?
Well, the one from just inside the box. When
Selena comes in from the left, plays it to Burns, and then he lays it back. You know what that reminded me of?
Go on.
Alan Shearer's goal against Holland at Wembley.
Yeah, the 4-1. Yeah, it's a good shout. Yeah, same part of the pitch.
Gazza comes in from the left. Yeah. Sheringham just knocks it on, and then Shearer drives it off the crossbar. It reminded me of that.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what it was. It was. Have you ever seen a better knee slide than that celebration? Wow.
Yeah. That's down by me.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That was it was a great knee slide. It really was. And they captured it for the gift moments. It was quite good. You mentioned Morsey there, but Matt Cook today sort of he left it up in the air in classic Cookie fashion because he said Sammy's not just been brought in to play with Lee Evans. You've got to make that clear. Tom Carroll's just played 2 games at Lincoln and against Wednesday when he was possibly our best player in both games. Idris came in against Wednesday and was outstanding. Note how he says it Idris because he also probably, like me, can't quite say the surname. We've got really good competition for places in our team now. And all of a sudden, got a couple of men in the team as well that can lead by example. So he kind of leaves it a little bit ambiguous there who the 2 is. So for you, who is your 2? Is it Evans and Morsey, or would it be Morsey and Carroll, or Morsey and Idris, or another 2? What's your 2?
Yeah. My 2 would be Morsey and Evans, just because of the history they've got together. But you can't overlook Carroll's pedigree. Come through the Spurs system, played in the Premier League for them, played in Europa League, 100 games I think it was for Spurs, 100 plus. So you can't really overlook that either. I mean, he was a bit of a left field signing, wasn't he? A bit like Luco in a way, because we I don't know. I suppose everyone was set on Evans and Harper at one point. And then Carroll came into the mix. I mean, I think he's quite a lightweight player. I think Evans is probably a harder player than what Carroll is. He's more of a technical player, maybe. But we said Tuesday night, didn't we? Isn't it weird that as soon as Morsey comes in, suddenly you've seen a massively different Lee Evans. I mean, bloody hell, scores 3 goals out of nowhere. No one would have predicted that. I don't even know what the odds would have been of that pre-match.
So why that type of response? Why is he bringing that up himself in a press conference?
Well, I mean, maybe he wants to keep it tire away. Maybe Carroll's put in some good performance. He put in a good performance at Lincoln, didn't he? Which was an away game. Perhaps he feels like we're going to keep it tighter there. I don't know. I mean, certainly Evans was feeling the effects of having to play with Harper, I think.
Yes.
Because even Cook has said to himself now, well, actually, we've never seen Harper playing that sort of CDM role, which was a surprise to everybody, wasn't it?
Colin, what? I mean, already. I've made it already. I'm there.
Colin, that would have been in the shed.
No, you need a photo of you on it so you can put it up on the wall.
Look at the egos on this show. Look, absolutely off the wall.
Again, it just shows you the abundance of options we've got. We can freshen it up whether we go away from home or at home.
Yeah, absolutely.
Suit plays in the opposition.
Important to say, Carroll can't play. Won't be playing tomorrow. Got a hip flexor. We'll mention that just in a little bit. Rob Smith just shows what a great squad we have for this league. 2 good players in every position. Ben Moore. Never doubt my football and Ipswich knowledge, mate. Chambers the player I associate Smith the most. That's just me. No, just your fantasy knowledge we're doubting. Colin Plum need a photo of Govern Matt Phillips or Iconic shared. Stephen Parry. Think Carroll might be the sub player for Evans. Robert, how worried should we be of Bond returning to QPR in January? Rich, want to touch on that very quickly? Should we be worried on a scale of 1 to 10?
Well, it is what it is. It's out of our hands, really, isn't it? He's there. He's still their player. We do need to remember that. But I would have thought there's going to be a bid going in, isn't there, in January? Sure. If he continues the way he's going, he's not going to be recalled by QPR unless they have injuries, because they've got 4 strikers already. They're not going to need a 5th.
Yeah, I think it's important to recognise that within football circles, they're not called loans. What they call it is at the FA, it would be called a temporary transfer. So that's how they would call it. It's a temporary transfer for a season. But obviously, within that contract is the fact that they can recall him for whatever reason. But I would imagine Ipswich will play hardball on that as well. You can only recall him if you've got injuries to X, Y, and Z. They ain't just going to be ambiguous.
No. Okay. Mark,
I think it'll be a bid there. I agree with Rich, yeah.
Link to your merch, Gov. Looking to get a t-shirt. Love it. Links in the chat. We're at halfway point of the show. Let's have a word from our sponsors. Do not forget, despite the town being away, you can still get your Ipswich buses around the town this weekend and go contactless. Ipswich Buses, your local bus company serving your football team. Buses run every 10 minutes. Avoid the traffic. Don't get stuck in the delay. Get Ipswich Buses today. A single £1.20, a return only £2. Find out more information at www.ipswichbuses.co.uk. Boom. There's a word from our sponsors, our partners. Appreciate Ipswich Buses. On to tomorrow, I suppose, then. We've got Walker and Enciala back in the squad. Piggott and Carroll miss out. Paul Cook had this to say on these 4 players. Because we don't want to give you too much information beforehand, Tom has been carrying a hip flexor type problem, and with Sam Morsey being available, we've taken the opportunity to try and get Tom Carroll fit and right, he said. Tom's done really, really well for playing for a game or 2, probably through a little bit of pain, which is very good of him, very good of Tom. The truth is, we've taken this little window of opportunity to get Tom right, having Idris available, Sammy available, and Lee. We're quite strong in that area, so it was a good opportunity for Tom, especially on the back of the results we'd had, to take the opportunity to get himself right. Joe had a virus that knocked him back quite a bit. I think he picked that up last Sunday on Monday, which resulted, I'm not sure I have to know that for, which resulted in being ruled out of the game completely. The reality is that Joe's been left behind to train this weekend, and he's probably sat on that little swing with the balloon, the little gif.
Colin come up with a good one again about Piggott. You don't know if he's had COVID. You don't know if he's had COVID now. That's true.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. And we'll be involved again from Monday properly. Asked whether Edward would be in the squad. Cook said, I've seen him in the hotel this morning, so you can work that one out for yourselves. Question to yourself here. Who was the last question to? I think it was the Matt. So this is to you, Rich. Would you be tempted as we travel away from home to tinker and maybe change 1 or 2 players? Obviously, Edwards may be available. You've got the midfield situation. Would you tinker or would you just...
I've seen that they were training, Matt, at the cliff. Did you see the video there? So they travelled up yesterday, didn't they?
That's good, that, isn't it?
Which is good. And I see Edwards was on there. Toto was on there. Would I be tempted to tinker tomorrow? Not a chance.
No.
Same team. Go with the same team. I'll put my team out this morning. Hock said maybe take Selena out because they've got some big lads. But I just think he showed the other night he's not there yet, is he? But he showed his quality. And I think you're not going to have Selena next Saturday because he's away on international duty. So I'd have thought he's probably going to play 65, 70 minutes tomorrow. And then I reckon Edwards will probably get a run, 20-odd minutes. And then Edwards will be back in for Selena next Saturday. But there's no need to change your team tomorrow, is there? We just won 6-0. So
you could change some of the positions, couldn't you? Like you said, in-game management, saw Fraser go to 10 and Selena out wide. So you could start with that and see how it goes.
I thought he was really... No one really talked about Fraser the other night, Matt, and I thought he was class. I think
we'll do it now. Do it now. Here's the floor. Here's the floor. Talk about him now.
He kind of got lost a little bit in all the other performances, didn't he?
Yeah. And we're on about. I'll see the East Anglian give Evans a 10. I don't think anyone gets a 10 for me. That is. Was he a 10 for you, Matt? Was he?
If he scored a hat trick, he got to have a 10, didn't you?
No. So what's a 10 performance then for yourself? Because obviously 10 is really reserved. Well, that is flawless, surely. Scoring a hat trick from deepest part of midfield.
Mm.
Do you know what annoys me? This is an impromptu goat. When they give a 10 on Strictly Come Dancing in like week 4, it's like, how can you give a 10 in week 4? That literally leaves that dancer nowhere to go in improvements.
I like Craig Revel-Horwood getting grumpy, goes through.
Yeah, 3. Can't be a bit Len Goodman. Pick on me walnuts, 7.
See, I agree there with Mike D, and I know you're not his biggest fan. I thought Matt Penny, he's got a lot of fans, Martin. He has.
He did all right. Martin rates Kenlock over Penny, everybody.
Well, easy fella.
Come on.
Anyway, we're hoping Hayden Coulson for Cambridge.
Oh, praise the Lord. See, it's because Coulson is so good. That's why for me. Yes. Evans and Morsey are 10 for me. Sorry, Rick. If the GOAT's giving 10 and he's seen everybody that needs to be seen.
I would have given Morsey a 10 as well, just in terms of he was a midfield general. It was great. And the fact he was there allowed Evans to score that hat-trick, I think.
Yeah. I think it was really nice of us to show, send Macaulay Bonne up to Manchester to show Ronaldo had a finish and movement. I thought that was really kind of us to, and quite apt. On to which, obviously, they were training at Man United today. Edmondson also had this to say: I've played against Paul Cook teams in the past, and I know they played really good footy. It excited me when I met Paul and the chief executive, Mark Ashton, and they explained the product in some detail. They were both clear about what they wanted for the club. They weren't interested in an okay finish in League One. They were striving for promotion, and the buzz it gave me was one of the reasons I agreed to sign. Target is Premier League, vision, ambition, preparation now, going up to yesterday, Man United's training grounds, Burton's, the St George's Park. Is this now finally a club that has actions behind its words, Matthew?
Well, it sounds like it, doesn't it? I mean, I was chatting about this with the guys that sit around me. We've had players drop down divisions. They've sacrificed their own career level, their own career status to come down to League One for Paul Cook. That's Connor Chaplin and Sammy Morsey. They could have stayed exactly where they were in the Championship, sitting pretty. But they've dropped down. All right, they're probably still getting some decent dough. But they've dropped down. In terms of status, they've dropped down. And yet it's so refreshing to see us go to like Man United's training ground. Finally, it seems like we're back competing. We were treading water under Evans.
Yes, we were.
Treading water under Evans. Our marquee signing under Evans out of all these players would have been probably Sean Aluko, who's just one of a number of 19. Yep. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's great. It's great that they've got that long-term ambition. And it starts with the chairman, Mike O'Leary, and with Ashton. They're very ambitious people. And, it's just brilliant to see. And again, I'll go back to what I said at the top of the show. Ipswich fans deserve this. We have sat through some absolute bloody dross. Absolute dross over the last decade plus. You deserve it.
It goes deeper than that, doesn't it, as well? Because obviously, Rich, you've got training today at Manchester United's complex. You had St George's Park or Grove, or whatever it's called these days. If they're doing those little things for away games, what else are they doing in terms of meal preparation? Rest days, massages. What else are they giving the players that you won't read on the back pages of the newspapers? You won't hear on podcasts. Does it give you that belief that you finally not only got Rolls-Royce players, but you're looking after them like Rolls-Royce players?
Yeah, we've said this before, haven't we? But it still comes back to Martin delivering on the pitch. We can do all these things right, go up there, prepare right, train at that lovely training ground, eat the right meals. Still go to Accrington tomorrow and put in a performance, because I think, Matt, we're big fans of Accrington. We obviously had Andy Holt on it, didn't we? And I was talking to Colin earlier, and you think they're just an example of a club who are massively punching above their weight, aren't they, really? In this league, they're comfortable every season, aren't they? They don't really struggle. I think we'll beat them tomorrow. Because I think they're on a bit of a bad run. They've leaked 14 goals, I think, in 4 games. So we've got to be confident.
Yeah, they're a great club. They're a great club, Accrington. And we'll forever be Andy Holt's day. He didn't have to come on Talking Town for nothing. And take questions, answer questions from all our community. It was brilliant. And they've got they've taken their non-league mentality. And I don't mean that as a weakness.
Did you get a mug? Did you get a mug?
Yeah, I did, yeah. Well, my little boy's called Stanley, isn't he? So by coincidence. But yeah, I did, just as a little thank you for coming on. But they've taken that non-league mentality, and I don't mean that as a weakness in terms of just how they operate, in terms of it's all in together, it's all community. And transferred that into League One, and it's brilliant to see. And I see he tweeted this morning that she had to arrest 3 people their last game, the first time ever under Andy Holt's chairmanship. And he said, if you can act like that when you come to our games, don't bother coming at all.
But they're improving the facilities as well, aren't they? They obviously.
New stand.
Whoever's going tomorrow, if you're in the terraces, I would urge you to take a Mac, because I think it's 90% rain up there. Callie's actually in the posh seats tomorrow. He's going to be Toto's got him. I think Toto's getting tickets, and he said he wants them in the seats because he doesn't want to get wet. Bless him.
I've not told Callie this, but where I sit in the Pioneer stand, I can see him clear as day in the North stand.
Poor Callie. Poor Callie. Look, eyes and ears everywhere. Stephen Perry. That goes back to the time and prep. We were 3 unbeaten, but we're not the complete article yet. Ben Moore says, walk the walk, now talk the talk. Aki have a set way of being set up. Holt has them run right.
Well, he did say, John Coleman, that they can't park the bus. So they're going to attack tomorrow. So I expect there to be goals tomorrow.
Yeah.
What do you make? What do you both make? Well, obviously, it was touched upon last night, thanks to Lewis bringing it to the attention. What do you both make of this Dion Charles situation brewing at Stanley?
What's the situation? You'll have to tell me.
Is he on the bench now? Because he was left out the other week, wasn't he?
Hasn't been playing, as far as from what Lewis was trying to tell me last night. From what I can remember, hasn't been playing. Obviously, with some interest in the summer, didn't get done. Player wanted to leave. I imagine club didn't want to sell for whatever the fee. Obviously, big player for them last year, wasn't he? In the season,
wish list.
He was.
I rate him. I think he's a really good player. What did he get last year? 12, 15 goals.
Yeah.
With Bishop up front, and that's probably he's one of their better players. And if he isn't in the team tomorrow, I'll be happy. Because that's a threat that we've got. But I'm expecting Burgess to have a good game tomorrow. He come from Accrington and he knows all about this lot, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
He
never ever played in front of a crowd there, did he, Burgess? He just done
no.
It's weird, that, isn't it? So tomorrow will be the first time he's playing in front of a crowd at Accrington.
Bye. That sort of thing. Lee, tomorrow's it's all about how we approach the game. Attack them from the off and don't let them rest after 60, 70 minutes. Make subs. By the way, I'm in Oldham and the weather all week has been awful. Right, well, as we come on to the sort of score predictions and final thoughts ahead of tomorrow, don't forget, if you've got value from this show, you can support us through Ko-Fi. Head to the link and set up a monthly contribution or make a one-off donation. I know that man there is all over the monthly support. That man there is still left wanting. But you can set up from £5.
You get paid in my time.
That's not getting. Fuck man. I'll put the invoice in then. I'll put the invoice in. But no, you can set it up anytime you want, and you can also cancel it anytime you want. Right, tomorrow, score predictions and final thoughts. Who wants to go first? Up to you. Don't care which one.
On,
score prediction. I'm going to go with. It was 2-1 there last season, wasn't it? So I'm going to go with the same again. 2-1 again. Maybe more. Maybe 3. I'm going to go 3. 3-1.
3-1. You agree with Ball and Blue, Rich? 3-1. You expect goals?
Colin in the chat. That Colin's a big fan of Stockton. He wants him in January. He is banging in the goals, and he left, right, and centre. He is.
He really is.
Yeah. Tomorrow, I'm confident. What I see Tuesday night. I think that's just the start of us now. I think that Accrington, they're going to come out. They're at the home team, but they're leaking goals. 3-0 Town tomorrow.
3-0 Town tomorrow.
3-0
okay.
Town. I'm confident.
The chairman of the Alex Gilead Appreciation Society said, Sod Stockton, Colin. He's only got 13 in League 2. It's a flash in the pan. We've got 3-1s, 2-0, Dr. Zach King. Mark, thanks for the note on Tuesday. I'll be in contact about Cambridge. Got a great little parking spot, he reckons. Only a minute from the ground. Words to my ears. 2-0, he says. Away day
from Cambridge.
Yes,
First
mate.
One on the road.
Yes, mate.
You could put Cold Stockton for Norwood, couldn't you?
You could.
Might deal with it.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
You having that?
Rich, you having that?
Well, I'll be happy to drive Nora wherever he wants to go.
I'll drive him to Walker myself.
Away days 4-1 tomorrow. Defo info. If not, it's probably the new beer talking. Jason Clayton. Colin # Scott Stockton sit on the bench behind Bon. 2-1 says David. 3-1 says Ben. Won't be 3-1 then. Adrian Croucher says 2-1. Don't forget our prediction leagues. We're live tomorrow from 2:30. It's
I've got a quick one, Martin, before we go.
I do like a quick one. Go on then, son.
Just want to say a big shout out to Ipswich for celebrating Black History Month, which runs right through this month, from today right through to the end of the month. And I see they've got some activities in the fan zone, and they're going to be going into some local schools. And, you know, I was just jotting down some names. Some people have really given me some great memories over the years, be it Dalian, that Finidi goal against Sunderland. Remember, was it 5-1? Michael Cole, do you remember Michael Cole, Rich?
Yeah,
David
I remember
Barnes.
terrorising Liverpool, Matt.
Yeah.
On a windy day at Portman Road.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. David Barnes, Bobby Petter, Carlos Edwards. So it's great that we've got such a fantastic history, and we can celebrate on Black History Month. So again, another fantastic thing from
Louis Donovan.
Yeah.
There's a name for you.
Yeah, played for Norwich as well.
Played for both, didn't he?
Yeah, it just goes to show how, you know, again, we're going back into the community and celebrating something that's absolutely fantastic. So big thumbs up to the club for that one.
I still miss Dalian.
Chrissy K. Yeah. Dalian. Oh, brilliant. Dalian.
Fantastic player.
Often when we do on the occasional time that we actually thrash teams like we did Tuesday, I do think back to that Middlesbrough, the 4-0, the hat trick, the Dalian scored. It's probably one of my greatest moments of Portman Road. Brilliant.
I think I was only was that 88?
I think it was, 87 or 88.
Yeah, I think it was about 12. What? Pallister and Mowbray took them to the absolute cleaners.
Sadly, a little bit too early for me, but
Chrissy
Kawamia,
my lord, brilliant,
great player. A player I've always wanted to interview, but never managed to get a hold of. Is Fabian Vilnius. I've always wanted to sit down with Fab.
Yeah.
Fab is just a great guy. Whenever you see him or used to see him in Tesco's or whatever, he always have the time of day to speak to you. So I suppose I'm saying that to sort of either prompt Rich, because he's the postman and he delivers, and he's not been delivering for a while, or someone.
We're in the season now. Do we need? We've got some in the bank. Don't worry. Wasn't it great to see Adam Tanner the other night coming over?
Yes, in the rain.
Hello, Rich.
In the rain. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Look, I don't get wet for nobody. That brolly you were holding over Tanner, it was leaking right onto my head, and I wear hair gel, and when it gets wet, it just seeps down into your eyelids and just burns them. So I'm like, that's fine. We've got Tanner. I'm going to be a professional. To stand here, look through the
I just find that this platform's given us a lot, and I just find it weird. We're standing there, and like an ex-Town player who scored the first goal when we ever won at Anfield, he comes over and says, "Oh, hello, Rich." I'm like, I just can't get my head around it sometimes.
Come on the show. Yeah, I'm just going to get a burger first.
Yes, we said, didn't he? Go get a burger.
Classic.
Brilliant.
Right, we're back tomorrow, 2:30. Pre-game show, myself, Ben, Milk Tray Man, and Coxie. Then the post-game show. We'll probably do half-time as well. This has been an FCA finalist production of Talking Town. I am your host, the Governor. That man there is Richard Hard Truth Moss. He is the media mogul, Matthew Phillips. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to support us on Ko-Fi. Prediction League is in play. Matt's still bottom. Big 0 points. Hit the subscribe button, as my good friend and colleague there says. But until tomorrow, enjoy your trip to Accrington. If you're leaving early, drive safe. Get the coffee in.
Don't run out of petrol.
No, do not. But we'll see you tomorrow.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without what's been holding us back now. Let's move closer to a new history.